Good morning, everybody. I am very thankful to the manufacturing today and Aditya Birla Group for inviting me here to share some of my experiences. We are here to celebrate manufacturing excellence. And why we want to celebrate manufacturing excellence is because every time there is a disruptive force, manufacturing has adapted itself to change to the changing needs, adapt to the changing needs of the society and technology, whatever is available at that time. So, manufacturing has been very long, almost as long as human has existed. So when we were hunting animals, at that time we were manufacturing tools and tackles so that we could be more effective in hunting the animals, right? And over a period of time, we have developed into what we are today. And the reason why we have been able to do this, because our manufacturing processes have evolved, mainly because of two reasons. One is there has been an increasing human need to do something bigger and better in their lives. And the second is human greed to want more and more from the existing infrastructure or what nature had to offer. Human need has led to technological innovations. So whatever we are seeing today, every day we want to make our lives better. Every day we would like to be more comfortable. Smartphones, today's presentation, whatever technology we are using, that is need of the hour. We want to remain connected to our near and dear ones. So that is what is the need about. The need to be loved, the need to be richer, prosper. But the greed is different. Greed is exploitation of the resources. So we have also been very exploitative. And when we are exploitative, we are destroying the environment. And that is where we are damaging the climate, the earth, water, air around us. And that is not going to be retrievable. So today's theme is very apt, that we want to focus on a digitalized world. And we want to focus on sustainability, the circular economy. How do we create a positive impact on environment? Now, when we talk about the technological innovations which this world has been doing, the technological innovations can lead to better products, better processes. They can also lead to better way of doing things. So better way of doing things has been clubbed under a single umbrella, that is application of technology, which we call digitalization. And the remaining part, how do we protect environment, let us call it sustainability or circular economy or climate change. So that is how I am going to classify this whole thing into two buckets. And then subsequently I will touch upon a subject which is very close to my heart. How do we make ourselves as human beings, as professionals, sustainable? So that is also very important. So when we work in manufacturing, we have seen that incoming raw materials are very important to us. The right sourcing, managing inventory, everything is very close to us. So many of you guys must be having GPS in your incoming raw materials and outgoing finished goods. How many of you are using GPS? Are you monitoring the movement of vehicles? So, yeah, very good. So what we have seen is that when people use GPS, people forget to monitor the vehicles. What is happening to those vehicles? Whether there is any over speeding, whether the trucks have wandered out of the prescribed track, what is happening to those trucks? So that is an important part of this whole logistics issue. We have also seen that supply-demand forecasting has become very, very important in order to manage inventory well, especially when supply chains are likely to be disrupted. Disruption because of Ukraine war, disruption because of COVID, and how small things can actually help us predict the supply chain. For example, number of hits on a Google can give you an idea what are the trending items today. And those trending items can give you an idea what is going to happen in future. And companies do analyze how many hits are there on Google on a specific item in order to see whether world is moving in that direction. When the material comes to your factory, in many units there is a weight bridge, then there is a security. How many units or manufacturing places have tried to automate the weight bridge with man-less entry? Very good. Your company name? Nestle. I am sure that many more are doing this. But this is a great idea where we can have a more accurate and man-less handling of weight bridges. Then drone-based delivery. So if you want to, or even in warehouses, if you want to store inventory, the forklift drivers, there are different lots, different SKUs. So if RFID is attached to those SKUs, and they are supposed to be kept in a particular place, then the forklift, using help of technology, can put them in the right places. And they would be traceable, completely traceable. There are digital plant twins in power plants, in chillers, compressors, or in any other part of your plant. There can be digital twins which can help you optimize the processes. In places where things have been implemented effectively, we have seen 2 to 5% of efficiency gains on account of digital twins. Now imagine your workers, maintenance technicians going to workplace and maintaining the old style history cards. Presently, many companies are implementing QR codes there. So those QR codes, they just have to scan the QR codes. They are linked to SAP. The LLF or whatever parameters technicians need to check can be just fed there, and it is all linked there. History can be maintained in SOP using the QR code and scanning the QR code through your scanner. Then we talk about perceptive analysis using AI. Like we have seen in some of the experiences that AI has been used extensively in many of the industrial projects. In Grasim itself, we have seen many of the critical problems have been solved using AI. For example, we have a critical parameter called finish on fiber, and it is a set of outcome of various parameters, and using AI, and actually the AI tool guides the engineers how to take actions more effectively. And the CPK has improved considerably, around 50-60% after implementation of AI. Then robotic operation. Manual intervention not just leads to poor efficiency, but it also leads to manual mistakes, which are likely to happen. If we can robotize, if we can make some of the process robotic, then we can eliminate some of these processes. But all of these things come with a caveat. And I will discuss some of these caveats as we progress through this presentation in future. They are connected variables. Now, I would like to explain a little bit on this. So we can ask our workers, the contract employees or the permanent employees, to wear connected variables. So it helps in two ways. It helps in improving safety. For example, if any worker has been, there has not been any movement at any instance in part of the plant, then people can go and identify that person if the person is in safe condition. Also, you can actually track whether the person has gone out of his scheduled place of work, so that discipline can be enforced. So these technologies are available. They are under trial at many places. Many places they have been implemented. And I am sure that as you go through and you connect with the technology suppliers, you will come across some of these ideas. In order to improve the customer experience, like us, we have connected directly to the customer's place, where we get directly customers' performance data from whatever performance they are getting from our products on a real-time basis. One of the customers has connected their machines to, we are able to get the efficiency data on an everyday basis. So that is how we can have interconnectivity across industries, across the supply chain. Safety has been a big beneficiary of all these initiatives. Places where, for example, you want to carry out off-site audit, on-site audit, sitting in your office with using some of the digital tools, you can carry out the audit. You can carry out the installation. Recently, the project which we had just commissioned, 3,500 crore project. Most of the complex equipments were purchased from outside, China, Europe. And the full plant commissioning was done using technology over the video calls. So whole day, our foreign collaborators, partners were in touch with the local team, and there were translators also there. And using technology, using remote cameras, they were helping us to commission the plant. Otherwise, we would have needed at least 400 foreign experts to come here and help us commission the plant, and it was all done remotely. We can help, we can take help of technology to avoid the intrusions at site. We can have drone surveillance of our boundary lines so that we can identify if anybody is intruding our workplace. We can actually have a physical count of how many people are working at our place, and whether we have more number of people, less number of people. Infrared can identify if any person has entered into the workplace. Infrared can identify if there is any cable or any element is getting heated up, or MCC rooms if there is anything which is worth attention. We can take big advantage of technology to enhance safety at the workplace. We have talked about digital twins. Just let me explain it a little bit better. So you can set up a digital twin either in chillers or in your power plants, and they can simulate exactly the same conditions as you are having in real life situations. So chiller can actually tell you, using COP or whatever is that look, there is a time to clean the condenser. So if there is any efficiency drop in your turbine, a drop in your heat rate, then using the twin, you can identify whether the inlet temperature or the inlet pressure to turbine has gone down, or something else has happened, or the boiler efficiency is going down, whatever. This is not to say that you don't know about it. Many of you may be using the same set of tools to improve your process effectiveness, efficiency, but I'm only sharing my views. So this is something on chiller digital twin. We have talked about advanced process control. So just like I explained, gave you an example of important parameter, OPU, finish on fiber, whether your evaporators are getting plugged up, whether distillation columns are giving the right efficiencies, whether reboilers are plugged up. You can identify even the traps, steam traps. You can have a temperature sensor using beacons or Wi-Fi. They can give signal to your plant maintenance team that traps have gone out of order. All of these things are possible. Your bearings can give a message to your maintenance team that, look, there is a need to change the bearing. The vibration sensors. All of these technologies are available. And you see, there is something very interesting. If suppose you have a PID controller and there is something which affects the performance of PID controller. For example, at lower level, the PID controller needs a different setting. At higher temperature level, PID controller needs a different setting. So using AI, actually you can change the feeds of PID to operate at different conditions. We have talked about most of these things, but let us talk about inbound logistics. So when we already know that ships can be tracked, and we know that whenever bulk consignments are coming on ship, and we all have GPSs and we are tracking GPS. So there is a way to integrate all of this with your inventory management system, your SAPs, so that your system can predict that after so and so day we are going to have inventory, no need of any excels. So somebody is tabulating that after 5 days we will have excess inventory and after 10 days we will run out of stock. I think your system should be able to tell this when you have a completely integrated supply chain. Something very interesting. You might have heard of this product Liva, which is made from our viscose fiber, made from Grasim. So Liva is a sub-brand which you may see a tag in many of the clothes which are being sold in stores like H&M or Mark and Spencer, or even female garments like Global Desi or whatever. And when you have Liva tag, there is a QR code. You scan the QR code. Using blockchain technology, it will tell you that this garment has so and so fiber sourced from so and so factory. The yarn has been manufactured in so and so place. Weaving has taken place in so and so place. Fiber has come from Grasim, Vilayat. This fiber has been produced from trees which were there in Canada. They have been transported here, and those trees were planted in so and so areas and in so and so year. The complete traceability of product is there, and that is done using blockchain technology. It is not just, I gave you an example of fiber, I was conversant with that, and we are already using this. But this can be done for food. This can be done for every single application where you have a chain of custody in the whole value chain. We spoke about connected workmen. By the way, this is already available, implemented in Grasim, in my own plant. So around 50% of the workmen are already covered under this. So if they go out of their working area, there is an alarm to ER that look, people are outside. So this is the whole digital journey of which we are implementing in our factory premises. The idea is that whatever concept we develop, we try at one place and then we implement it horizontally across all the factories. And we have chosen one factory as the place where we can pilot everything. And then slowly and gradually it is replicated to other parts of the business. And it has covered everything: asset inspection, it has covered connected experience, blockchain traceability, everything. So this is in summary of what has been doing, what is being done. This is various projects. The green ones are under execution. The other ones are in development stage of in various stages. The other part is, how do you feel when you get inside the workplace? So in traditional way, there used to be a punching card, right, which you used to punch in your entry into the factory. Now we have a facial recognition system, but you still need to stand there. In the times to come, you don't need to punch anything. Aapka iris, the machine will censor your iris while you are walking inside the gate, and your attendance will be punched automatically. Just like in tollway, government is now taking trial that FASTag, the days of FASTag are over. As soon as your car enters the highway, it will be detected using GPS. And for number of kilometers you have spent on the highway, you will be paying your toll tax. So just like this particular concept, as soon as you enter the factory, your attendance will be punched. As soon as you go out of the factory, your attendance will be punched. When you go inside factory, you go to your workplace, open your palm top, you will identify what are your to-do list for the day as part of your daily management. You take your palm top to the workplace. Suppose you are a maintenance guy, you take your palm top to the workplace, you do your LLF using QR code, which we have already mentioned. Or if you are a process guy, you take it to DCS, you interface with the system, you do a historian analysis so that the whole previous day data can be analyzed. How many times, how many minutes, how many hours in a day a particular parameter has gone out of limit. You can do your first pass yield sitting at your desk, and you will be able to know how many hours in the previous day your process are out of control. You can update the job status. Even process teams have their own scheduled jobs. So the whole daily management can be done. And when you come out of the gate, then you have your punch out. So the whole experience can be digitalized. You have your problems with HR, you can communicate online. You must already be doing that. You have your problems with finance, somebody has not reimbursed your bill, you can issue a ticket, it will be taken care of. At click of a button. So this is an example of advanced process control in evaporator, already discussed. Captive power plant. This is an important one. What is the purpose of technology adoption? Technology adoption is not just for the heck of it. Technology adoption has meaning when it gives you tangible business results. And tangible business results means that your production should go up, your cost should go down, the safety should improve, quality should improve, defects should go down, reliability should improve, downtime should go down. So unless these benefits are not there, there is no value of that technology. So each and every technology has to result in business results. And there should be a business case for implementation of those technologies. So that is point number one. Point number two is that when we adopt new technology, we should be aware and capable of handling that technology. So our people need to be trained. Our people need to be trained to use that technology, and our people need to be trained to maintain that in case there is a breakdown. Suppose you have a robo and your process is fully dependent on that robo. That robo goes out of order. So what is your backup? Can you maintain that robo? Do you have standbys? Do you have a standby manpower? How do you manage the whole situation? It's case by case basis. All manufacturing units have to decide that what should be the pace of adoption of these technologies. So I leave it to you with a food for thought. How would you like to implement these technologies without risking your present operations? No technology is good if it doesn't give you business results. Now let me come to the second part of the project, which is the need for sustainable development. Many people believe that implementation of sustainability standards, they increase our cost. But that is not true. Let us understand first what is sustainability. Anything which reduces the environment footprint is sustainable. So if you can reduce your waste, that is sustainability. If you can reduce your raw material consumption, that is sustainability. That will help you reduce your cost. And if we are really very keen, then whatever waste we generate, we can make useful products out of it. And those useful products somewhere will help in reducing the environment footprint. So I request each one of you to demonstrate leadership and create public trust. So when you have sustainable credentials, the brand owners, your customers, would have a greater preference for your product. And these are times when the customers would be willing to pay a premium if they know that our company follows sustainability standards. And lastly, I urge that all the Indian companies should go for the best environment standards in the world. We have chosen to follow the European standards. And our unit in Grasim, Vilayat is fully compliant to the European standards. I request that we should pick a standard, be US standard, European standard, and we should fully comply to that. Only then the manufacturing in India is going to be world class. I was speaking to one of our suppliers. which regularly supplies us an item of interest. And I was asking him why the products made in India, the same product made in India, has a poorer quality as compared to the one which has been supplied from Europe. Have any of you encountered such a situation? कि हमको कोई मशीन लेनी है, हम बोलते हैं कि इंडिया से हम नहीं लेंगे, आप हमको यूरोप के प्लांट से सप्लाई करो. And the guy told me that if you want the same standards, quality standards which are followed in Europe, if you want to follow the similar environmental standards which are followed in Europe, the cost of product will come out to be the same in India as that is there in Europe. So let us take note of this, that maybe our cost of manufacturing will go up, but then there would be somebody who would be willing to pay the price of it. Some of the initiatives in my own unit. So we have a gaseous stream where SOx is there. We are converting that to sulfuric acid. The plant is under installation. After 8 months, this will be commissioned. This will be with Haldor-Topsoe technology. We are planning to capture some of the CO2 being released from our power plant and convert it to caustic soda and use the caustic soda soda ash and use the soda ash in house. Some of the sodium sulfite streams will be converted to useful products. I don't want to name the products. Our fiber, which uses pulp, wooden pulp as a raw material, we are planning to replace 20 to 30% of wooden pulp by waste cotton. आप जो cotton shirt पहने हो, when it is no more wearable, it can be shredded, it can be bleached, and it can be converted into viscose fiber. So we have started taking trials. We have already made about 100 tons fiber with waste cotton, and this week we are going to take another trial which will use 300 tons of waste cotton. And eventually whatever fiber will be produced from Grasim will have 20 to 30% of material which will be sourced from waste cotton. So the more we recycle, the more we save the environment. Reduce emissions from state-of-the-art technology. Many of you may be chemical industries, maybe using volatile solvents. You can use state-of-the-art technologies to recover those solvents at a cost which is less than the cost of virgin solvent. So it is not just reducing emissions, it is also saving cost. You can reduce your oil consumption in whatever mechanical industries or whatever. You can recover oil, you can recycle that oil, you can make oil as good as virgin oil. That technology is available. We in our power plant have already started using 5 to 10%, replaced coal with biofuel, all these husk and agricultural waste. Water. The next item on our agenda is water. India doesn't have adequate drinking water. The demand of drinking water in India is going to go up, and we are already having shortage. Himalayas are drying away. There is no ice to give us water. The water table in northern India is amongst the lowest in the world. Mind it, amongst the lowest in the world. The depletion is very, very high. In past 30-40 years, the depletion is so high that northern India may completely dry out of water. In such a scenario, it is very, very important to conserve water. Look, the ministry norm in India is 150 meter cube per ton of fiber. And in 2014, we were at 47. We have come down to 14, 1-4. So we have reduced our water consumption by almost, say what, 60-70%. We are recovering more water from effluent than almost what city of Bharuch consumes. City of Bharuch has water consumption of 25 MLD. We recover almost 40 MLD from effluent. And the more we do on water, the less it is. Any amount of water going into sea is sourced from the water which can go for as a drinking water, which can go to farmers, which can go for irrigation. As responsible corporates, it is our responsibility to save as much water as possible. We are also in collaboration with Bharuch municipality, we are sourcing their water, treated wastewater, treated sewage, and will be used as water in our plant, so that we don't use any fresh water. And it is not just we. I think Bharuch, apart from Bharuch, Vadodara Municipal Corporation also has sewage treatment plant, and it is also planning to sell to various industries. The next part of my presentation is related to how do we become professionals, sustainable professionals. There are two parts. One is, I think we need to have diversity in our team. Diversity of cultures, diversity of genders. And that will make our teams more productive. We have seen that in our company. In our organization, many of the women leaders are performing very well, comparable and better than many of their male counterparts, and taking very responsible positions. Same in Hindalco. My colleague from Hindalco is sitting there, you can ask him informally over a cup of coffee. So it is very, very important to have gender diversity, regional diversity, so that we can combine our thought process, create synergy. The second and most important is how do we continue the learning process? How do we unlearn the baggage which we have learned while growing up, and how do we adapt ourselves to the new technology? If we do not adapt ourselves to the new technologies, new way of doing things, by the age of 40 or 45 or 50, we become redundant. There are organizations which indulge in age discrimination. They don't want to hire anybody who is more than 50. Some organizations don't want to hire anybody who are more than 40. So if we continue to do the same job, and with help of technology, the experience will lose its relevance. So if we continue to do the same job, which a youngster fresh out of college can do after 2 years, why would somebody pay us higher salary? So I think an important food for thought for everybody to consider. The learning process should go on continuously. It is a lifelong journey. Adapt to the new way of doing things, and that will help us sustain ourselves, sustain our families and livelihood. Thank you very much.